So hello everybody and welcome to my first Wrap the Week. I'm Shute and I'm your new commercial director, and it's great to say hello to everybody, albeit virtually. I wanted to kick off with a really big thank you to everyone that supported my induction. It's been a really unusual experience starting a job when everything is virtual, but what's been clear to me is the passion and the expertise from absolutely everybody that I've met and indeed continue to interact with. It's also been great to hear your support for fundraising, with many of you talking to me about how you personally get involved with volunteering or taking part in the many events and activities we run. So a really big thank you for that. This week I also got an opportunity to speak to our new chair, Nigel Boardman. As a charity, we're really fortunate, I think, to have somebody with such experience both from the commercial and the charity sector as a non-exec. What came across really strongly to me was his drive and his passion for Help for Heroes, and indeed his focus on fundraising. And if you haven't watched his Jostle introduction video, I'd really urge you to do so. Now, it's really important for me personally as a fundraiser and for my commercial team to get to know a little bit about our veterans and the people that we support. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be having some chats with some of our beneficiaries. I'm really keen to hear about their experiences and understand what their current and future needs are. So thanks very much to Mark Elliott for helping set up those meetings. Now, my Wrap the Week is going to focus around COVID-19 and the impact that that's having on charity, but mainly the fundraising sector, and how, as we for Help for Heroes are responding to this, both at the moment and have been responding to it, and also how we want to respond going forward. So I kind of want to start off a little bit about talking around need. So there has been a big rise in people needing support from charities over the last 6 months. And research released yesterday by the National Emergencies Trust showed that 1 in 8 people living in the UK, that's the equivalent of 7 million people, expect to seek support from a charity or a voluntary body in the next 12 months as a direct support of the challenges created by COVID. And that 3 out of 5 of those people will be the first time they've ever sought charitable support. And indeed, if you have a look at some of the beneficiary surveys that we've put out, which I definitely urge you to do, we can see that many of our veterans really need the fantastic support and services that Help for Heroes provide now more than ever. Against this, most charities are anticipating what's around a sort of 40% drop in fundraising income this year. And that's happened because COVID and the lockdown has meant a lot of what we would call face-to-face fundraising has just had to stop. That includes huge events like the London Marathon, as well as more regional events, all of which are vital for fundraising. You'll know that we've had to cancel some of our own events like our BBBBR event, and also pause a lot of the work that our regional and our volunteer teams do. But what I wanted to focus on is some of the positives out there. So all the way through COVID, there's been a lot of research going on, talking to potential fundraisers about how they feel and how they want to support charities. And the good news is the recent research has shown that the public are keen to support charities, and indeed a lot of them have been actively volunteering during the lockdown period. There's also been an increase in donors and funders that want to specifically support charities that are supporting both health and mental health. So both of those are big opportunities for us as a charity going forward. Cash and online donations have been increasing year on year, and COVID-facing appeals have been going well for a lot of key charities. Also, new methods of payment are proving popular. So not so new, but payment methods that people are using like Google Pay and Apple Pay are being very popular, particularly at how people respond to giving to those online. And then platforms like Tiltify and TikTok, if any of you have heard of that, are also proving popular with donations. And COVID has really pushed a growth in charities to innovate when it comes to fundraising. And I'm sure you've seen a lot out there with charities, particularly pushing out more virtual events in a response to COVID. And my last point on this is that giving going forward is going to be a lot more transactional and value exchanged based. So what I mean by that is the research that's out there says people are prepared to give to charities, but they're probably looking more for something back. So that's where you see quizzes and raffles doing well. And this week I saw a great idea for a virtual book club. And it also gives us strong opportunities for some of the commercial fundraising and income that we want to do going forward. So how are we doing? How are Help for Heroes doing in their fundraising as a response to COVID? So I'm just going to give you some key highlights of some of the things that have been happening over the last few months. So first of all, we have won some COVID related bids. We won 150,000 from the Armed Forces Covenant. And we've also been successful in pursuing some bids with corporate partners, which we've been doing throughout this period. So you will have noticed, if you read the updates that I send through, we won 100k from ICAP recently for an event that we're going to do at Christmas. We also got through to the last 3 for Quick Fit. What's key in both those is there's been a big focus from these corporate partners on health and mental health outcomes. Our corporate team are also back chatting to more committed partners, and reaching out to new businesses. And we have been revising what we call our corporate pipeline, our target list of companies to approach. Trading's been performing well as people are looking for leisure wear and moving to e-commerce. We've seen some good results over the last few months, and we're set to drive 140k's worth of donations from our trading platform this year. We've also pushed our own virtual events, Step To It and Hero Up gaming platform, and have been pushing third-party events that are happening to others to our supporters. And our regional team has just completed a 4-week project, which included a full survey with our volunteers. And we've contacted every single one of our community partners, a massive task in itself. On our community partners, it's really good news because almost all of them have said they are absolutely committed to continue to support the charity. And I also just want to touch on some of our amazing fundraisers out there. I saw a great story about 11-year-old Ryan, who has a form of cerebral palsy, that's been walking 5,000 steps every day to raise money for us. What a hero he is. So just to touch on our future plans and what I hope you'll see over the next 6 months going forward. Well, we're working on a cash appeal, a COVID-based cash appeal to kick off late October. That will involve all of fundraising and I hope be a charity-wide appeal. So I hope to see you get behind that. We've been working closely with our recovery team on how we can fund adapting our services for what will be a new future. We've been increasing our asks and our diversity of asks with a big focus on cash donations to pick up on that growing trend I spoke about. Q1 is a very important quarter for our trading, especially with the gift season and Christmas coming up, and we're really well prepared to make the most of that. And I do urge you to recommend to your friends and family to visit our trading site, and particularly our e-commerce site. We've got some great products on there. We'll also be implementing a new donor relationship platform in the first half of the financial year, and that will really help us understand and steward those who give to us better. I talked about different payment types. We'll be implementing a new payment platform online that will help us take more advantage of things like Google and Apple Pay. And lastly, we are going to appoint an innovation agency who will partner with us to develop both fundraising and commercial products for the future. We were looking at doing this anyway, but it's become so much more important because of COVID. So hopefully they'll help us innovate and look at the way that we can fundraise in an ever-changing world. So I wouldn't be a fundraiser if I didn't ask you what you can do to help us. So at a simple level, you can talk about and share our fundraising initiative with your friends, with your family, and if you can, on social media. We've also been working with marketing at some revised messaging, really showing how important the charity is, especially during COVID. So please look out for that in the future. Now, if you want to contact me about any of these, please do. Anything I've spoken about, more than happy to talk to you. It's been great to meet you, even though this feels like a weird sort of meeting. It's great to be able to have an opportunity to talk to everyone. And I want to personally thank everyone for all the hard work that you're doing at the moment for Help for Heroes and ultimately supporting our veterans who need us more than ever at the moment. So please stay safe and well and enjoy the bank holiday weekend. So that's goodbye from me.